Yo. Welcome back to the People's Podcast. It's your girl, Adrienne Fox, alongside my handsome, intelligent co host, Mr. Treble J.
Yes,
How y'all
sir.
feeling out there?
We're back in the building, y'all.
Yes, we are. And today, I want to talk about. First, I'm gonna start off with a story. I gotta tell y'all this story because it's been burning hot on my brain that this happened to me.
It's a good story too.
So I want to say like a week ago, I matched with this guy on Hinge. And I'm going to say like 2 days after talking, we went on a lunch date. 3 days after talking, we went on a lunch date. Everything was really good. It was a vibe. Like I kind of liked him. And um, I guess you could say we got through most of the conversations, like get to know you conversations. He's showing me his house. He's showing me my side of the closet. He like, okay, well, maybe we can get the boys together, go watch
Oh,
a
okay.
movie or something. Cause he has a 7-year-old son and I have a 7-year-old son. So I go shopping and then I want to go grab dinner. And my son's father came into town for his birthday. And I was like, well, me and DJ going to dinner. Instead of you driving all the way out to my area, you got plans, you're going out with your friends, just meet us at dinner so you can see DJ and then, you can bounce and continue doing what you're doing. So I'm on my way to my dinner and this guy that I'm talking to calls me and he's like, what's up? What you doing? I was like, oh, I'm on my way to go get dinner. And I tell him, DJ's dad is going to meet me there, blah, blah, blah. I'm not going to lie. I feel some kind of way about that. And I was like, what?
Crazy.
Like I'm meeting him in a public place. Like what do you I was like, well, I'm
Yeah.
sorry you feel that way. But like, like what is it? He was like, well, I feel like, you ain't tell me you had dinner plans with your son's father. And I'm like, well, I didn't until about 10 minutes ago when I knew we were going to be in the same area around the same time. I thought I was killing two birds with one stone.
And it's a
And then
birthday. Yeah, don't forget
and
that
it
part.
was
It was a
his
birthday.
dad's birthday.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and he literally drove all the way to this area from where he is to see his son. So I'm like, well, my goal was to like kind of get this out the way so that we could have our evening and still do, the movie night with the kids and yada yada yada. And I'm like, well, if this is a problem for you, it's not a problem. I just feel weird. Like I feel weird about it. And I'm like, okay, well, I don't want you to feel some kind of way. Like that's not really I don't like that you feel like that. But we kind of need to talk about this because, I do consider him family and his family kind of like is family. Like we've
Yeah.
been
I mean, yeah.
we've been
Yeah.
we've been around each other for almost 10 years. Like
Yeah.
and the kids all play together. He has cousins and, all this other stuff.
Rightfully so. You're right.
In the middle of saying like a scenario of a situation where I interact with his family, he hung up on me. He banged on me after he sat there and was like, well, that's how it's supposed to be. You're supposed to
Man.
like, not beef with him. Like, as a woman, this is commendable, blah, 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 blah. He hung up on me. And then, guys, he blocked me. He blocked me like a whole female. He hung up on me and then he blocked me. And it's just like, first of all, you're 40, okay?
Mm, mm.
And you're too old to, if you like have an issue with something, you're
Address.
too old to not be able to talk it out. Like you're acting like you want to be in this whole real deep situation with me after 1 week. And as soon as you feel some type of way about something, you just scram. And what bothers me is that's like the theme of dating right now. Like, if you don't like something, I don't gotta talk to you. I could just go swipe and swipe and swipe until I see something else that I like and then try again. Which sucks. It really sucks. And dating with a child is hard
Oh
enough as
man.
is. Like, I don't have free time. Like, I have to pay a babysitter or like hire a babysitter. And I didn't really feel comfortable with that for a while. But now my son is at an age where he could talk and he could tell me everything that's going on. So I could actually hire somebody and start to go out on dates. But
Yeah.
dating with a child is tough. And men and women are really out here just wasting people time. And I don't like that. I cannot believe that happened to me. And me and Trouble used to talk. And he was like, there's no reason why you should be single. You single because it's a choice. And I'm like, I'm trying to tell you, don't nobody want me. Ain't no way. What you mean don't nobody want you? You must be being picky and you must doing this and da 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 da. And I'm not perfect. I am a little picky. I'm picky.
A little. Yes, on
I'm picky. But this is a prime example of I give somebody a shot and they just disappear. And he didn't believe me that these are the situations that happened to me. And
Yeah.
I got to give him a real life example. So it don't matter how pretty you are or nothing. This ghosting culture is getting so ridiculous and it's hard. Like, I don't know what the right balance is and like telling someone that I have like it's admirable for you to have a good relationship with your son's father and like no he's not on child support and yes I let him see his kid and we don't have any beef for real and it sounds good I guess until he's around and then all of a sudden you gonna feel some type of way. So like,
Mhm.
do you feel like I know you have a child too. What do
Yeah.
you feel like you've had some issues with women? Like, is it on like the shoes on the other foot? Do you experience that? Are women more accepting of kids than men in this
I feel
situation?
like I feel like it's way different now. Now I can't say like before, what I'm saying, I had my daughter and before like I was in a long-term relationship, the dynamic was very different. Almost to the point now to when you like engaging or like to the degree of, what I'm saying, like more women interacting with me at this point, it's way different. It's like back then, what I'm saying, to a degree, if the interest there or what I'm saying, the vibe there, whatever the case may be, it was more so upfront. It's like now I notice, and this not even on a small scale, it's on a big scale. I notice now it's almost like it's uncharted territory or people just don't want to deal with it to a degree now with me having a kid. Even if my kid, what I'm saying, is not physically with me to the degree, it's almost like a mentality now of like women prefer a man, you know, I was saying the word, what's the way to say it? Like fully free, like freedom from everything, or what I'm saying, even to a degree, like if you got a kid or whatever, but that dynamic is not there, I definitely feel the difference. Now, I myself, what I'm saying, semi was trying to get, back into the mix, which I told, Adrian about this situation too as well. And I can't lie, man. Like I felt like I was opening myself back up in a certain space. And what I'm saying, it just kind of like, I don't even want to say fell through, but it was just like not what I expected to a degree because, what I'm saying, I began to open up. I began to, what I'm saying, like get back into the quality time, like, the long conversations, like trying to plan stuff and all that too as well. And it was almost like at this point, it's just like the single life to a degree. Like I'm kind of in it because, what I'm saying, I don't really have a choice but to be in it because obviously with a kid to a degree, I'm trying to move like different than I was before because I mean, it's the reality of the
Right,
situation. You feel
right.
what I'm saying? Before I had a kid and before other responsibilities, no matter what's going on, in my personal life, I was just able to move different, period. And I have dated women before, what I'm saying, with kids already too. So even on that dynamic in my space, I don't really have a problem with that because I've already, what I'm saying, been in that mix of that entire situation to know that, okay, if I step into the picture, you get what I'm saying? The responsibility is still there on the father, what I'm saying? The father's still in the picture and all that. And
Right.
the important part on my end is just building the relationship, what I'm saying? If that's the case, what I'm saying, with the mother. And I feel like
Right.
I'm understanding of that because I've already dealt with that before. But like you said, shoe on the other foot, very, very different. Like the person that, like I said, that I was trying to, what I'm saying, kind of connect with to a degree, like had a kid too as well. So And then it feel like when you kind of invest a lot of your energy into certain stuff, or like you be in a certain space about it, like you kind of scale back. It's like even after that situation, now I just kind of be chilling to the degree, but I'm saying chilling like straight to myself. Like, you know what I'm saying? I don't really just be having people pull up and all that too. So it's just a whole different mentality
Right,
now,
right,
like stuck in between, you know what I'm saying, the single life and then also having a kid and then also, you know what I'm saying, like the dynamic of certain women. Cause to me, and I don't really be pressed like to a degree on the intent and all that. Cause I mean, at the age that we are, you feel what I'm saying? You got to genuinely like really just be able to get to know somebody. So I don't put no, you know what I'm saying, stipulations or certain stuff up front at this point because it's like I don't really know you, you know what I'm saying, to the fullest yet, or I still got to go through a certain process. So I can't really gauge to put certain speculations, you know what I'm saying, on certain stuff like how
but I
quick
don't
I
even
wanted to
feel
go.
like people I don't even feel like people invested in that for real. Like, they
I
not
mean, that's
invested
true
in
too. You're
truly
right. Yeah.
getting
Yeah.
to know people, and at this age, like,
Yeah.
we're in our 30s, we look young. Somebody told me I was 25 today. They couldn't believe that I was in my
You
30s.
you are.
But no, I'm in my 30s. I'm 25. Guys, I'm
Yeah,
25.
yeah, yeah. How you gotta say
Um,
it. Yeah, yeah,
but you can't expect people to be, I guess, even loyal to the dating process. The fact that we
yeah.
have so many options right now, like, nobody's genuinely getting, I'm sorry to cut you off, but I don't even feel like people are genuinely taking the time and being consistent with getting to know the other person.
But
It's
you
like
don't
as
really
soon
got
as you
option
see
though.
something, yeah, well, and you also don't have to. And as soon as you see something you don't like, you turn your nose up and you just walk away. And that's corny. Like, I don't like that at all. And that's the experience is making me not want to date at all.
But see, that's the perception though that people think too as well. And like I done dealt with that in the past, even before a kid that I don't like. Like it's always a perception with certain people. Like to me, even to a degree that I feel like hinder me when dealing with women too, is everybody either think I'm in a relationship fully or like, you know what I'm saying, I'm unavailable or I just got so many options and you feel what I'm saying, I can't like waste my time with him. I'm
I
like, if
get that
y'all
too.
only knew, yeah, if y'all only knew the reality of the situation,
I get that.
that's not the case. So even the assumption on that, because I was telling Adrian about that before too. Like most of the time when I be out by myself, whether the grocery store, whatever the case may be, I'm going, you know what I'm saying, to grab some, whatever the case may be. Like it ain't never the interaction that y'all may think that it is. So even myself as being a dude, because a lot of y'all may think that's a female aspect of, you know what I'm saying, you getting attention to certain stuff. Like, I mean, to a degree, sometimes I be wishing that was the case because that's not the case at all, especially with options or, you know what I'm saying, talking to different folks. Like the same way some of y'all begin shut down or the same way some of y'all be to y'allself or whatever the case may be, that's the same space that I be in. But people swear up and down that, you know what I'm saying, it's a complete opposite. Like ever since my last like actual relationship, you know what I'm saying, in which I had a kid, like it ain't really been no, you know what I'm saying, motion like that. Like I said, the last situation, which you know what I'm saying, I was trying to invest my time and stuff into that. But you know, as a lot of y'all know too, I keep a lot of that stuff off the internet because I feel like nowadays too, that's another thing when you dating, man. You ain't gotta let everybody into your mix about everything that you're doing. And I feel like that's another reason why the dating space, you know what I'm saying, don't work as good either because everything ain't for social media. Everything ain't to make clips and you know what I'm saying, do all this stuff too to show that, oh, I'm on a date, somebody taking me here, they paying for this here. We spending time here doing all that because then
That
y'all
is
get in that
so dumb.
space.
If you take your
Yeah.
phone out and take a picture of anything while we're out on a date, I'm never going out with you again. I think that is
Yeah, that's why.
so corny. Corny.
You gotta live in the moment with that type of stuff. I feel like not a lot of people experiencing the moment. You experiencing the picture of the moment, and then like, oh, look at what I ordered from this nice restaurant that I went to. Let me take a picture of it, or such and such took me here, so let me show. You know what I'm saying, on my IG, on my Twitter, or whatever. So if I go on another date with another guy, then you know what I'm saying, he'll do something similar to this. Like y'all gotta get out the perception of posting and everything for everybody to see. That's why the dating space don't work because y'all doing a lot of stuff for the internet and not for the actual reality of what's going on inside the dating space. Really, nobody should know who y'all with, even to a degree, unless you do get serious. I mean, that's just the truth, yeah.
I don't even like people that I'm like matching with or dating with to see my Instagram because you build a perception off of someone based on their social media.
Yeah, definitely.
and you can assume that you know that person, but I choose to post certain things. That is not a full profile of who I am as an individual.
Yeah.
So I try not to even share my social media because I don't want anybody to think like I got a big head, or like, oh, she's this media personality, or she's this and she's that, or she likes this and she no. How about you just ask me, talk to me, get to know me, get to understand the things that
Leave
I
it
like.
mysterious. You gotta leave it mysterious, man. Like I feel like I agree with you on that 100% because perception is one thing, reality is another. And I feel like I stand big on that. Even the
Mm,
fact that I tell a lot of people too, just because I be on camera and we do these episodes and certain stuff, within my personal life, especially with dating and other things too, I feel like you gotta have that exclusiveness about it, and everybody not knowing everything going on, especially with the dating space. So I'm like, I like it that way. I prefer it that way, so that when y'all going on there, y'all assuming just like the funny part, you know what I'm saying? Just add a little lightness to the show. Most people don't even know, you know what I'm saying, like my stature and all that either. I sit in the chair 90% of the time. Most people thought I was either short. I have no idea that I'm a whole 6'5", you know what I'm saying, giant out here to a degree. Like, and I be super chill, like off the camera. But see, I like that aspect, like what you said too, because you got to create that mystery so that people, especially with dating, so they actually get to know you,
yeah,
not for what they see on the computer. Like, not at all.
yeah. I'm a completely different person. Like I'm a nerd.
Never wrong with that. Ain't never
I
wrong
like
with that.
to know how things work. Science. I could watch like real estate YouTube videos back to back to back, or investment videos back to back to back.
Them good videos, though.
Um they are great
Yeah,
videos. But
yeah.
yeah, like I'm a little nerd and I'm clumsy. I'm super clumsy.
Never wrong with that.
Um but at this point, like I hit my resume really hits all the keynotes. Like I'm pretty, attractive, got some sex appeal to me. I'm smart. I'm not financially needy towards a man. And I'm really trying to figure out why I'm single. I just
That
don't
that's
get
that's a
it.
rare mix right there. You're right. That financially that financially unneedy is that's a big one. I feel like that's another reason why
I found a cute
I'm
way to
definitely
say
single
that
too.
just now.
That's facts though. You said why some of us why we single to a degree too. I feel like that's definitely on my list. Like as a man, that is because it's the difference. We talked about this on the past episode. It's the
Hmm.
difference between me being in a relationship, you know what I'm saying, to help, trying to help uplift or be, you know what I'm saying, on the same page with certain stuff. It's a complete difference when you basing dating me, or, you know what I'm saying, trying to interact with me on the basis of, you know what I'm saying, what my finances like, what can I do to help you, what materialistic stuff to a degree. Y'all got to cut that out because at the end of the day, that percentage of me being single because of that too is not going to change, because I feel like that's not the aspect. I don't want to date somebody off the degree of, you know what I'm saying, what can I do to you to better you, or whatever the case may be, because money, let me make sure I say this shit right, so I don't want to say it wrong. Money is important, money is needed, but money is not everything. And I need
Oh
you,
no.
especially in a relationship.
And they
In a
come and go.
relationship, yeah, hell yeah.
They come and go. So I think for me, why I'm single, I think, and I may be doing this wrong, I may not be doing this wrong. Fellas, let me know.
Mm,
I don't want to move fast, like because there's a child involved. But I do want to know that your intentions are serious. Like I would like to be somewhat exclusive. I would like to like know like what are you looking for? Like and make sure that we're matching those things
you gotta say that.
before.
You gotta say that right though. So I would say, since we own the show talking about this, you gotta say that right. Because as a man, when you just said that, like it makes sense what you said, but you have to explain it right. Because you said not don't jump too serious, but I need to know that we exclusive, or to a degree will be serious because I have a child. You have to, in the new generation too, especially, you got to be able to explain that in
And my
detail so that
biggest
people
fear,
understand.
yeah, my biggest fear is like getting into a relationship with somebody and we go a year or two and then it just completely fall apart. Like that's not only going to be devastating for me, that's going to be devastating for my son too. So like that extended long period of us trying to figure out what this is, I don't really know. Like I'm not attracted to that. I'm not saying we have to be boyfriend and girlfriend. Like, do you want to be my boyfriend? Yes or no? And like you gotta give me an answer right now. No, like I want to vibe. I want to get to know you. But I also feel like sex is a part of that. Like we're not gonna leave that part out. I'm supposed to sit here and just vibe with you and everything's going good and we don't have sex, but then everybody's having sex with multiple people. Like I don't like that either. Like that's what I mean by like the exclusive part. You can get to know me, but
Yeah.
once we incorporate the physical aspect, and I'm a Scorpio, I want to be physical. Let's not get it twisted. Like I want to, but if you can't sit here and say, okay, I'm interested in you and I'm interested in seeing where this go, I'm going to give my energy to this until we decide this isn't what we want to do, then that leaves me in like between a rock and a hard place because everybody wants the benefits of the relationship but not the relationship.
I mean,
So
but I got
how do you date in that environment?
I mean, but I gotta say this though, that a lot of y'all as women gotta understand, and they're like, I'm gonna be very transparent because on this show we keeping it real with y'all. When it come to intimacy, and y'all, this is just for women in general, and you say that you want to build or you want to see how things go or be in a certain space. Once you open the door for certain dudes, it don't matter who it is, period. Or the level of intimacy, but you're not quite there, depending on like where you feel like your relationship is at, you can't do that with certain people, hands down. You got the good dudes, you know what I'm saying, with morals. You got dudes over here that's trying to find their way. You got some in the middle that's, you know what I'm saying, half and half, and you got some that they only agenda is to spend time with you and do certain stuff to a degree. When they get out of it, like you said, the benefit of a relationship, then they out of there. Now, a thing that I feel like, you know what I'm saying, that as women, which I give y'all some advice, you feel what I'm saying, to start paying attention to is that if you're gonna be on the physical level with somebody, no matter what the situation is, no matter what the age demographic is too, then you gotta understand that depending on how that person is and their characteristics, whatever come with that is gonna come with that. So as a woman to a degree, y'all gotta scale back. I know you got your urges, you know what I'm saying, the same as a man, like I do, you know what I'm saying, with women too as well. But when it come down to certain stuff, like to make the decision on that, like because I ain't really talked about this before, but I'm gonna say this on the show right now. I feel like as a man at the age that I'm at, you know what I'm saying, and just from different things, like I said, I used to be a college athlete, different stuff, all that music, everything. That off the conscious decision for a lot of situations, I felt like with women, I turned down a lot of situations, or especially, you know what I'm saying, on the sexual level to a degree, because mentally I just went in that space. And at the same time, the same way I'm telling y'all, you know what I'm saying, from like to the women out there is that I made conscious decisions on certain situations because I might have knew that in that moment right there, just because it may be cool on the intimate level, this may not go nowhere. Or just because, you know what I'm saying, I'm trying to build up and maybe I'm trying to, you know what I'm saying, stall on a few things because I know how that attachment gonna be there to that degree. I mean, shit, sometimes you got to make the conscious decision. And if you're gonna roll with it, which I have been in a situation where I roll with it too as well, you got to kind of flow with certain stuff to a degree, but know what your morals are without being worried about everything too. Because I feel like in a lot of past situations or relationships and certain stuff, I'm always overly worried about, okay, well, if this don't work out, if this don't be long term, because you know what I'm saying, I'm one of them type of dudes anyway. You feel what I'm saying? Like I like being in a relationship long term out it, but the reality of the situation is that shit don't work like that. Prime example, as y'all know, the people that actively knew that I was in a relationship before with a whole kid, you know what I'm saying, which I thought everything was, you know what I'm saying, amazing to a certain degree. I'm not in that relationship no more. So, you know what I'm saying, this is just the real part of the conversation of letting y'all know that I mean, you gotta do what you do. You gotta try certain things. You know what I'm saying. You gotta put yourself back out there, but you can't always, to a degree, too, just have this silver lining of like how everything is for sure gonna go, because a lot of times that's not realistic. If a lot of y'all notice, I had myself set 100% in the last relationship I was just in, and that completely went way left field. So I mean, I just got to keep it real with y'all on that. But I
Yeah.
agree with what Adrian said. Yeah.
So how long And give me the game. Give me the game. How long should a girl make a guy wait for sex?
I mean, I said that on the last episode. They really depend on.
I know it depends, but I'm just saying, like, based on
Oh, you
what you
talking
just
about like if, when
said,
you're really trying to pursue? You talking about in a
yeah,
serious
like
relationship?
if a man is telling me that he has serious intentions, like he's at an age where he's ready to settle down or whatever,
Yeah, yeah,
and we match those intentions, how
yeah.
long should I make him wait?
I mean, definitely, I'll say like a few times of y'all like actually interacting with each other. I will say that because like even at this age now, I've definitely like experienced that before too. Because if you really feel like you trying to build with somebody and have an actual relationship, then you should do other activities and certain things beforehand. You feel what I'm saying? Like because that's the reality. That's when I said you
To
choose
help
this
get to
side
know each
or that
other,
side to get
right?
to know each other. Yo, you like sports, you know what I'm saying? Go to a game or you like to be outdoors, go outdoors or whatever. You like to eat, you know what I'm saying? Go to a restaurant or they can come by you cook at home or you can step out, you know what I'm saying? Take a walk, whatever the case may be, and just regular conversation too. A lot of people don't understand that a lot of regular conversation too when you're trying to build with somebody is important. Everybody's stuck on social media to a degree, so human interaction is a major thing that's scaling off too. To answer your question to what you just said, you got to have that human interaction too first before it's all the way physical. Now, have I been on both sides of that? Of course. That's why I'm telling y'all, as you grow, you mature on certain stuff. And to answer her question, you got to do, you know what I'm saying? You just got to have more like other interactions aside from the physical first. If mentally you interested in certain stuff, like you said, you like, you know what I'm saying, you like real estate, or you like to do certain things, that you know what I'm saying, y'all watch certain stuff, you talk about it, you have a conversation about it without being but without placing yourself in an intimate setting. Because it's one thing too for y'all to know.
Right.
It's easy to place somebody in an intimate setting, especially if two people like each other, period. So when it come down to that, either you're gonna roll with it or you ain't gonna roll with it. But you can't place yourself in certain situations and think that something not gonna happen. So you're trying to get to know somebody, they pull up, whatever the case may be, go out to eat, all that. Okay, well, you're gonna go back to the house, play some games, whatever. Okay, let's watch a movie. First thing, y'all. So
Yeah,
if we
now
watching a
you
movie,
yeah.
that's what I'm saying. If we watching a movie to a degree, you know what I'm saying, then it's late, whatever the case may be, but you want to stay over there, you want to lay down and watch a movie. You got to think about
You opening
the
the door
technique.
to
That's what I'm
that.
saying. You open the door to that. You got to think about the techniques that you using. Now, if you cool with that, it is what it is. But to Adrian's point, you got to set the standard with certain stuff. So maybe if we in the living room, whatever the case may be, you know what I'm saying, we're gonna stay in the living room. And then on top of that, okay, let's watch something you interested in watching. Because if it's something you're interested in and y'all both investing y'all time in, you're gonna be focused on that. That's another thing y'all pay attention to. Netflix and chill to a
That's
degree
a
is
good
that, yeah,
tip. That's a good tip right
yeah, yeah.
there. Put something that
Net
you really, really want to watch on so
exactly, yeah, 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 yeah.
you don't veer off and
Yeah,
start
yeah. Because
kissing or
y'all
nothing.
Netflix and chill and just throw some shit on the TV. You know what I'm saying? Lights
Right,
on
right,
in the
right.
background, lights down low. Let's just throw a movie on that I probably done watched 15 times, or some, you know what I'm saying, comedy love story, whatever that we know we ain't watching, you know what I'm saying, TV down low. You end up cuddling, you know what I'm saying, and you get straight to it and it be what it be. Instead of like actually shit that y'all engaging in, like, oh, okay, you know what I'm saying, I'm watching this real estate documentary, or you know what I'm saying, I'm watching this new dope ass movie that just came out on
Right.
HBO Max or something like that we really locked in on and we really trying to see. So it's like, okay, it's cool that you sitting here next to me chilling, but hey, this actually a good movie, or this actually this, or like we interacting. Yo, I'm a cook at the crib. You trying to pull up? You know what I'm saying? You ain't gonna do too much of engaging yourself in the physical stuff because you worried about, okay, let's actually try to come together and cook this meal like together. Let's make something in
Right.
the kitchen together. You feel what I'm saying? And do that, and it's just like you said, to your point. It's about, you got to create the space in order to do stuff and not just only, you know what I'm saying, allow certain things to go with the flow to then. You got to be able to control the narrative if you really want to wait before you being intimate with somebody. Because any opens crack, or you know what I'm saying, any loose end, like you say with anything else, when you're trying to get to know somebody, naturally, you know what I'm saying, we physical beings. Naturally, I mean, sex is a part of a relationship 100%.
Right.
Whether you fully committed or you not. So let's be for real on that, y'all. You know what I'm saying, and not cap with that. Like, it's a part of, you know what I'm saying, the male and female connection, or you know what I'm saying, whatever the case may be. You know, but it's a
Yeah, but
part of that natural.
you gotta try and at least like run through all the values. Like, and I'm learning now, especially that I
Yeah,
have a kid.
yeah,
like, I mean, obviously, like, spirituality, right? Or,
Yeah.
like, certain, like, core values. I never thought in a million years that I would have to bring up what my co-parenting situation is and make sure that it doesn't cross that person's boundaries. See, now I
Yeah.
know I need to talk about that in terms of values, because if you value family,
Yeah.
then it don't matter. And I'm talking about, like, whatever my family is. And everybody's family isn't always the people that they're blood related to. And it's just like, are you going to be able to step aside yourself and respect that? And then
Yeah.
on top of that, like, I mean, everybody, who you are in your individual life when you meet somebody is not going to be the person that you are when you're in the relationship.
That
Like,
is true.
I
You're right. Yeah.
have
Yeah.
a certain set of habits and customs and how I do things right now as a single person that I don't have to consider you. I don't have to consider you at all. You don't even exist in my world. So when you're dating and you're getting to know somebody, you need to have a baseline understanding of that. And because everybody's on social media and don't know how to communicate anymore, when you get to a point where something bothers you, you don't know how to get through it. You don't know how to navigate that conversation and push past it. That's really what it is. Like, eventually, yeah. And you have things with your family or your friends that you don't have to consider me on. Like, for
And that's
example,
yeah.
you
Yeah.
got a
Yeah.
dog. I don't like dogs. If your
Yeah.
dog is used to being in your bed or sitting on a couch and I don't like that, if we're going to be an item, we need to take who we are as individuals and figure out if we can move past those things and be come together like in a
Yeah.
relationship.
Yeah. Now I agree, and I think another important part too to that I wanted to say too is that two people before they start dating or being in a relationship is their own individual self. And I think, especially when you're in the dating space, that I think a lot of people, this is everybody in general, they got to learn is that you're not getting in a relationship with somebody to change the other person. You're getting in a relationship with somebody or dating them to evolve with how that person is and how you are and compromise to make it work together. Now that is a large reason why a lot of relationships don't work is because if the woman got a certain standard, if the man got a certain standard of how they do certain stuff and move and do all that, and then you come into the mix, and then now you're living together in certain stuff to a degree, and then you just completely clash, you know what I'm saying, with each other, and it's like my standard over here, your standard over there, it's not gonna work in that way. I'm not saying that you should be with a terrible, you know what I'm saying, dude or a terrible woman, and then you know what I'm saying, just accept everything they come with. But y'all have to understand when you're in the space of connecting or dating somebody, especially in a long-term relationship, it's compromise, not you telling the other person how they gotta be, how they gotta move, what you gonna not allow, what you're gonna allow. Because before you get into it, which a lot of y'all lose sight of, especially in the dating space, is that you coming into the picture, being interested in somebody that you do not know 100% about and getting to know that person. Now, if you are the person that as you getting to know that person, you feel like certain characteristics are not for you immediately at that point, you need to scale back or in that instance, you know what I'm saying, create that friendship instead of trying to build on their relationship. And I feel like a lot of y'all lose sight of that because it's like, okay, well, if it don't work out and may not be a relationship with shit, at least we can, you know what I'm saying, be intimate. At least we can just kick it. Just let the flow be what it is. And then after that, you done already fucked up the potential for the friendship because you ain't scaled back on the basis of, well, if these certain characteristics don't work, you know what I'm saying, I'm out of there. No, y'all
Yep.
allow certain stuff to slip through the cracks and let it be what it is. But again, on the same end, if you cool with allowing a person to be themselves, which is something I'm definitely learning now, cool. I'm not going to trip about certain stuff because I don't need you to be a perfect person. I don't need you to change certain stuff just because of the way I do certain things. Even living in the same crib together or whatever the case may be, I'm not a stickler for certain stuff. Do I like, you know what I'm saying, certain things neat, whatever the case may be? Of course. But me as a man, this is me personally. I'm not talking about no other man out there. I'll allow a lot of things for a woman to try to be themselves in because I feel like I need that to be vice versa. So if you carry yourself a certain type of way, if you a morning person, whatever, or you like certain characteristics, or you do this, or you like to dress like this and do that. Cool, do that. You feel what I'm saying? Because in the process of dating you and certain stuff, I need you to be authentically yourself, not trying to piece yourself together to you know what I'm saying, wrap yourself like this perfect present that you're trying to give to me so that I'll be
And
in a
a
relationship
lot
with
and
you.
a lot of people end up, you find out that the other person doesn't like something, and you start to change yourself
Yeah, you ain't
for,
gotta do that.
whatever that person doesn't like, but it's not sustainable. Like, if
Yeah.
you date me and you have an issue with my son, like, you would prefer to date a woman who doesn't have any children, but you clicked with me, and you try to hold that in, that's going to become an issue. It's eventually going to come out.
Oh
Stop
yeah,
thinking
definitely.
that when you are dating somebody, like, yeah, there are certain things that you can compromise on, but you need to know yourself enough to know what your hard boundaries are, no matter how ridiculous they are. Because if you try to fake it like you're actually okay with those things and then you're not, it's going to eventually come out and be an issue.
Yeah, y'all can't be scared too just because people have kids. Because I feel like this is another thing I want to say. When it comes to celebrities, y'all cool with that shit. Somebody could be dating somebody for a couple of months or got kids and all that, and then boom, they jump out with the next person, paparazzi and all that. Oh yeah, cool. They happy for their new relationship. But when regular everyday people do it, y'all acting like that's weird. Like for people to be able to date somebody even though they have a kid. If a relationship does not work, if a certain dynamic does not work, if you got certain things set in standard, you feel what I'm saying, of how you're gonna move forward with each other, and you respectful and cordial with it, you can date someone else. It's like y'all be like almost act like it's uncharted territory, like you're scared to date somebody because they have a kid. As long as it ain't no weird energy, like I will say that, because you got certain people who just over the fucking top. You feel what I'm saying? Baby daddy, baby mama, like drama, whatever the case may be. But I'm talking about for the ones that's the mature adults that can be cordial and understanding. You don't have to be in fear of dating someone just because they have a child. That's like I need to make sure to stress that, most importantly, especially when the dudes towards a woman. You feel what I'm saying? Because y'all worried about that simple fact of, well, if she go back to him, or you know what I'm saying, like maybe she ain't gonna give me her true self because of that. Certain shit you just got a lot of them to do, but like that ain't really your concern to that degree, especially with somebody like myself. If I was just to date a woman with kids and she end up going back to the dude or so whatever behind the scenes, whatever the case may be, hey, that's it. I ain't got no control of that, and I'm up out of there. Like that's the way y'all got to think too, to a degree, because like y'all get so consumed and worried about what they gonna do. Whatever they gonna do, they gonna do. And if they do the wrong thing and I ain't rocking with it, I'm out of there. I'm not finna stress out and do all that too on the basis of that. If you gonna date them and they got kids, date them. If not,
The
date somebody
the
who don't
crazy
got kids.
thing
It's that
about
simple.
it though is if you just focused on me and not my son's father, we
But
could
that's what I'm saying.
actually get somewhere. You
Yeah,
understand what I'm
yeah,
saying? Like, men are worried about, like, I had
yeah.
to
You
put
can't
in
be
one
worried
of my
about that.
bios. Yeah, I had to put in one of my bios, like, and it was a joke, but it was like, I'm looking for a daddy, not my son. Stop worrying about the dynamic with my kid and the baby
Yeah.
father. Will you just focus on dating me? I'm a loyal person. If I fall in love with you, that's it. I'm only going to see you. And that's how most women are. But because of the situation, like all of these little dating situations that I've had where men just fall off the face of the earth or they don't handle communication, at this point, shit, if I'm single in another 10 years and my baby father's single, we didn't got to know each other for the past what, 20 years at this point. Like, yeah, you're
You're
gonna
right.
make
You're
me
right.
go back to him,
You're right.
being worried about him. And that's the same thing with females. Females do the same thing. Y'all be worried about the baby mom. Oh, he be around her. Oh, he went to pick the kid up. She had these little shorts on, or blah, 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 blah. Or you go on her social media. Every girl does this. Don't act like you don't. You want to go
I
look
gotta
at the
say that.
ex.
Yeah.
You want to go look at the baby mom. And then you get all insecure. And now you arguing with the man over her. Where he going to end up at? On her couch? Because you didn't kicked her out. You didn't kicked him out, or y'all fighting and beefing over something stupid. Stop worrying about what that person's past life was. It's over. And guess what? If it's not over and you're choosing to deal with that person, then deal with it. You make it a problem by fixating yourself on whoever you're talking to, ex.
Yeah, I think y'all gotta understand that too. You feel what I'm saying? Because I feel like that is important. So I want to say this too, you know what I'm saying, on the show. Because women do that. And I feel like with me, that just have to be somebody understand. Because at the end of the day, so that y'all very aware, because a lot of y'all be scared to talk about certain shit. At the end of the day, am I in a relationship now? No. Did I have a child, you know what I'm saying, with the mother of my child, like a daughter? Of course. So certain stuff as a grown man, as a mature man, that ain't got nothing to do with nothing on the intimate level, that's a person that's gonna be in the picture, be in my life, period, regardless. Does that mean that I'm gonna go off and do certain stuff, or like my mentality and my standard gonna change because I have a kid? Of course not. Are we gonna have issues like I already have behind the scenes? Of course. But one thing I'm not gonna do, regardless of if a woman in the picture or not, I'm not gonna, you feel what I'm saying, not be in my daughter's life or not have no type of, you know what I'm saying, communication with the mother of my child, period, because that would be stupid of me to do that off the basis of just somebody being insecure about certain things. I feel like I'm a loyal person too as well. If I'm in it with you, I'm in it with you. If I'm not, then I'm not. But on the basis of that too, y'all got to stop doing that, because it's almost like, okay, if you got a kid in a relationship didn't work out, and then you get with somebody, you just need to abandon everything they got to do, you know what I'm saying, with the kid or that person. You can't do that. Like, first of all, if you had a kid with that person, so whether y'all see it on a small level or a big level, a kid is a big ass, like, that's the biggest thing, period. So you can't just, you know what I'm saying, walk away from the situation, whether y'all, again, whether y'all get along, whether y'all on good terms or not. That's just a certain factor that as an adult, that shit right there that just help you mature. Now, if you, and that should actually help a lot of y'all when y'all dating people with children too, because the way they handle certain situations with that and the way they're able to be responsible with that situation too as well and still be able to date you, that's a plus. Y'all be too worried about the folks that's single out
Mm-hmm.
here,
Preach.
you know what I'm saying, jumping with from
Preach.
person to person, doing their own thing, no responsibility, nobody really, you know what I'm saying, have to call in to a check in with, and they out here doing worse, you know what I'm saying, than the folks that got, you know what I'm saying, a baby mother, a baby father. That ain't the same dynamic. So y'all really be scared of the wrong thing.
Yeah. And then a girl, I dealt with this situation, and it was like a girl who's, or a woman who's okay with a dude not being in his child life.
Yeah, that ain't good. Yeah,
She got some issues.
yeah,
Like, you can't, there's no way I could date a man right now and I know that he got kids, and he'll get in a relationship and completely abandon his kids, like, or he'll be one way when he's not in a relationship. He'll be around or whatever, and then when another woman come in the picture, you're not around, you're not showing up to stuff. You let a woman alter or change how you move with your kid.
yeah,
I have no respect for that. That grinds me up. Again, if you're dating someone, of course, you're going to have to set boundaries. Okay. No, my son's father's not going to be coming in here, ha ha, and kikiing, and we drinking and chilling, watching TV, whatever, blah, 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 blah. That's not going to be the case if I'm in a relationship.
yeah,
Not at all. But as of right now, I'm totally single. If he wants to
yeah,
come in here and play with his son in their room, and he's not bothering me and I'm not bothering him, and he got a short period of time that he gonna knock this out, or it's cold outside, he can't take him to the playground, and he can't, run and do the outside
yeah,
activities that they usually do. I don't have a problem with you spending time with your kid. That's never going to be an issue for me. The issue is going to be if you're not spending time with your kid. That's going to be the problem. And it's like, men want women who are more understanding. Men want women who not going to drag a dad to court and worry about child support, and you talk crap about the women who keep their kids away from the dads and yada yada yada. But then when you got a woman who do it, and it's just like understanding, healed, compromised, moved on, trying to date, you have an issue with that.
yeah,
That don't make no sense. It's like you giving me my props, but you swiping the rug from underneath my feet at the same time. And every single time with these experiences, I'm falling flat on my face, and it's getting tired. It's getting tired, and it's getting old. Grow up, please. Thank you.
yeah. And I feel like you gotta have a conversation about certain things to understand, because in the same aspect too, everybody dynamic is different. So you know what I'm saying, that Adrian case, that is the dynamic of it, you know what I'm saying, of her son, father, you know what I'm saying, come from time to time, do his responsibilities. Then it's also on the other end, and my situation too as well, to where the communication when you dating somebody or you moving forward or whatever the case may be, it got to be fully transparent. In my case, for everybody that don't know, we in two different states. Period. I'm down south, she up north. You feel what I'm saying? And the constant situation of trying to compromise and figure all this stuff out for my daughter. But the reality of the situation is, you know what I'm saying, and any type of future that I have is that I do have a daughter, but my dynamic is different. So at the same time of anybody dealing with me or communicating me or conversating with me, you have to understand on the standard of my responsibilities in certain areas. And don't always be trying to put certain shit like as a certain standard too, just because it's a certain stigma on it, or like it's a situation just only in the black culture. That's not the case, dog. Sometimes certain situations be where to be, they work out however they work out, and that's just the dynamic of it. But that don't mean also as well when y'all dealing with people with children that's gonna be the same outcome that you're gonna get. And I think a lot of people be thinking that too. Oh
Yep.
well, if she had a kid with such and such and it didn't work out, but then he's still in the picture. I don't know if I want to go down that path with her. I don't know if I want to marry her, or you know what I'm saying, do all that too, because then, well, how do I know the same thing gonna happen to me? Or the same thing with a female to be like, just because folks say our kids, it's life, y'all, just like anything else. Y'all think that to the standard of when you born that you got to do certain shit by a certain age, you got to be perfect, you got to do this. I said that from the beginning for the longest before I ever even had a kid. And mind you, like I made sure at the right time for me to, I chose to have a kid so that everybody understand that too. But also in the same standard before, I was like, man, like when I get to a certain point, I only want to be with the same person, only have a kid, get married, all that stuff. Nothing else gonna happen to that degree. That don't be the reality of life in certain cases. And y'all got to be able to evolve, you know what I'm saying, to elevate from that, to know like the full spectrum when we talk about dating and certain stuff too, because you're right, that's prime example of thinking that one thing that you got fixated in your head is going to fully be what it is, and that's not.
And the hard part about it and what kills me is after a month or 2 months, guess what, honey? You still don't know me. You
Yeah, that's
don't know
facts. That's
me.
facts. Shit, after years, you're
All
right.
of the stuff that you're doing and thinking is based on an assumption. And what's the first three letters of assumption, guys? ASS. And we're literally out here making complete asses of ourselves because all we do is make
That was a
decisions
good one.
based on assumptions. You think you know this, you think you know that. You don't know nothing. You don't know nothing. How about you take the time to get to know somebody? Or instead of assuming that it's a certain way, you inquire about it, you ask about it, you seek understanding about a certain situation instead of just giving up and walking away from a perfectly good person.
Yeah,
And
you're
y'all could
right.
tell I'm passionate about this because I have had this conversation multiple times with men who don't choose me, and it always starts off, "Well, why are you single? What's wrong with you?" And I say, "I don't know, you tell me. You tell me what's wrong with me." And by the end of it, well, it ain't nothing wrong with you. I'm not ready for a committed relationship, or I'm not ready for this, or I don't want this situation with you. I want this situation with another girl. And it's like, I know for a fact there's nothing wrong with me and the quality of the person that I'm bringing to the table. But you got to take the time to get to understand and know the person and why, what their values are, what their situation is like with their family and all of that. And then, but you put the effort in. Put
Yeah,
the
you're right.
effort in. Like, this is something I'm super passionate about because I'm tired of wasting my time. I don't like that. At the same time, like, I don't want to be alone. My experiences and dating and dealing with guys, it really makes me want to be a cat lady. Like, it makes me it makes me want to sit at home and
Oh
then,
man.
you know what I mean? But then I'm gonna be then my son's gonna grow up. Like, it's all cool now because I got my son in the crib and I always have something to do. I'm busy. But when he grows up and he's not here no more and I'm really sitting here twiddling my thumbs, I don't know. I don't know about y'all, but this single life is for the birds. I hate it. I hate it so much. I'd rather have somebody to argue with.
All right, that's facts. I ain't even gonna lie. I ain't never gonna cap y'all down. That's what I'm saying. Like, although I'm not in a relationship no more, like it was. it was still a certain level of like assurance with certain stuff when I was. You're right, to the degree that yeah, when you single, like it's alright to a degree, but like it ain't just like I be telling Adrian, it ain't just what it's cracked up to be too. It's like damn, even though like my relationship fell through, it was a whole different dynamic when I was in a relationship than now. And
And
nobody, yeah,
then the longer you're single, because I've been single pretty much for 6 years. I dated one person, it lasted about 4 months or so, um, where we considered each other like boyfriend and girlfriend. But that's as serious as any of my dating experiences have got. So for the better part of 6 years, I've been single. And what happens is you develop single habits and single
yeah.
mindsets. And like it terrifies me to be in a relationship. Like I'm so scared to merge my life with somebody. When I was younger, I didn't care about that stuff. Like, you want to move in together? Great, fine. Okay, you pay this, I pay that. It's exciting, all that young adventurous stuff. But the older you get stuck in your ways. And then you start looking for something super particular. And then you got to consider your kid. And then you have to consider the other person. And then you got to consider if they have children. Like it just gets more and more complicated to the point to where you just really don't even want to try. You don't want to try.
Then it depend on your dynamic. You feel what I'm saying? Because like to your point, somebody in my space, I done been on the complete opposite. For the most part of 6 years, I've been in a relationship with somebody at some point over the 6 years. As far as me being single, like you know what I'm saying, even at the age that I am now, that's been very rare over time frame where I've been single. So that's also another thing too that people got to consider too as well is that not even consider, but I'm saying like when the mentality to a degree, like when you could kind of ease into stuff easier. When you've been in a relationship, it's easier, you know what I'm saying, to get into another relationship. When you have been in a relationship that long, it's harder for you to commit and be like, okay, I'm gonna lock in with somebody shit because you know what I'm saying, why not? If I've been single for so long, I'll take my time. But that's the only thing I can say, you know what I'm saying, on my end because the dynamic is different. Like over 6 years, I feel like what maybe two people I feel like I've been in a relationship with long-term relationships to a degree. So I mean it's just a different dynamic. So now even being single, of course I don't like to be single, but then at the same time it's like damn, I haven't even really been single to the degree too. So like to me, you know what I'm saying, mentally it like I get your point about being in a relationship because I do want to be in a relationship, but I'm saying to me, like the negative aspect of me like pressuring it to a degree, it's not like fully there like that because I've been in a relationship. So I know that it's possible for me to boom do it. But for some people, when you've been single so long, you almost lose hope. You're right. It's like, damn, man, it's gonna be 10, 15 years before I ever get in a relationship again. Because it's a mentality.
And it's not for lack of trying.
Oh no, nah, we right, we right.
It's not for lack of trying. Like I really feel like I've tried. And then I don't know. I'm like, all right, whatever. I delete the apps. I just was like, and you need a break from it. It's a terrible gauntlet. Like, do you know how many and the interview process over and over and over? Hi,
Yeah,
what's
but
your name?
yeah,
How
but
old are you?
me personally though, that dynamic a little different though. Like I get why people do it, especially in your field of work, because your time consumed. So the dating apps is, you know what I'm saying, to a degree with somebody like myself is like, I don't know, like it gotta be a certain, it gotta be a different dynamic for me to connect. Cause I feel like I'm saying it worked for you, I know, because of
No,
what you
it
do.
don't, because I'm still single. The
Yeah,
fuck?
but
It doesn't. Online dating does not work.
yeah, but what I'm saying is you're still doing online dating. Like this is for the listeners. That's what I'm saying. Like
Well,
you still
Had
do
a
it. For me
job,
personally, I can't do that.
if I had a job where I met people,
Yeah,
like different people, a
yeah.
lot of people, like it would be a different story. But like I
That's what I'm
work
saying.
with
Yeah, yeah.
investment bankers who are predominantly white and young, fresh out of it's two age groups. It's either the senior bankers that are older and married with kids, or the younger bankers who
Yeah, yeah,
are 21. And I'm not dating somebody 10 years younger than me. I can't even look at you. You still look like a baby to me. Like you're younger than my little brother. I just can't do it. So my interactions now we've moved to Capital One headquarters where I'm on campus and like it's a lot of new faces and new people and I'm meeting new people. So there definitely might be an opportunity there to network. But for the better part of the last 5 years of not only I moved
yeah.
away from my hometown. That's
Yeah,
another
yeah,
thing
you're
when
right.
you relocate. Like I relocated for my career, and I don't have my high school friends. I don't have any referrals. I don't have people that I'm bumping into on the street. Like, oh my God, I haven't seen you in a long time. You look great. Like, I don't have any of that. I'm in a completely new space, surrounded by like work people, and I don't believe in sleeping around with the people that I work with. So like my pool and my time, one, having a kid, and then the pool
Yeah,
that I had access to of men, it's just been really hard. So I feel like I've resorted to online dating for the most part, but I absolutely hate it and would definitely prefer to meet somebody in real life.
that's true. You're right. Yeah, yeah. But then when I think about it too, I mean, everything is online to a degree. Because even if you come across somebody on Instagram and all the other stuff, you're right. It's all in the same boat. Only,
Yeah.
I guess the more the generation keep expanding with technology, it is going to begin to be like that. So you got a point with that.
Yeah. I mean, it is what it is, but at the end of the day, I still have hope. I know I'm going to walk down the aisle and like, be that have my wifey moment eventually, but it's just hard. And then, with the views on marriage, men don't want to get married anymore. They call it a bad contract.
You gotta say something, man, because that's yeah, that ain't all the way true. You gotta
It's
say that
not
right. Cause
all, but it's definitely coming out to where it's like it's two views on it. Like
yeah, you
some
gotta
people
say it.
believe in it,
You gotta say
some
it like
people
that though.
believe in it, but it's growing in numbers that people are like, nah, I don't want to do this. Especially the divorce rate is so high. So men who've already been married and they're going through horrible divorces or horrible situations like that, they don't want to do it again.
I don't think that's an excuse though. That's what I'm saying. See, me as a certain type of man, that's an excuse for certain man. Again, like as a woman, when you're hearing that, that's different. As a man, that's not true.
Yeah.
Like I
What's
have
your
friends.
what's your view?
That's not true at all. I have friends that's married, that's not married. I have friends that are actively married. I got single friends. I got all of that. That has nothing to do with the fact of because the marriage went sour or went bad that they can't get into another marriage. Certain men to a degree be trying to impress other men, or you got a desire to have something that you know what I'm saying, or not appreciate what you have, and you feel like going back out there or experiencing something else that you've already done is gonna satisfy you. That is the real issue when it comes to marriage.
Mm,
If you in a circle with five of your friends and all of y'all are married together and y'all got wives and y'all do, you know what I'm saying, like marriage type shit together, you should be content with doing that because you made a decision. Marriage is not a forced thing. I don't care what nobody say. Like a man and woman don't stand up there. I mean, my apologies, y'all. In other countries, to a degree, it is organized and certain stuff. But I'm saying, like, well, in America anyway, that's all I want to say it the right way because you got to
right.
be
Right.
correct when you're talking about certain stuff. Um, Nobody's forcing two people to go up there to get married. As a man, you got to say I do. As a woman, you got to say I do. And if you feel like you're not ready for that to a degree, then you need to make the right decision. That becomes that's when people got to take accountability when you talk about marriage. A lot of y'all want to do the shit for the glitz and the glam. It look good. You're gonna have all these people showing up. You got the nice
Mhm.
dress, you got the nice suit, you feel what I'm saying? Then when shit get going heavy, you know what I'm saying, you want to pull out, but you're not understanding too that marriage is a job too as well, but it's a good job. It's almost like a dream job to a degree that if you work on it, you know what I'm saying, it could be the best thing possible. And I just know that, like, I'm not even married, but I know that I do want to be married. You feel what I'm saying? So I look at it in that way. And marriage ain't no relationship either. That's not something that you hop in and hop back out. But again, as men, you got to understand, which I need y'all to get this too. That's when I like to get in my bag. You feel what I'm saying? As men is different than women. A lot of y'all men out there got to understand that, bro. At some point in your life, it's time to stop with the bullshit and playing games and having options and doing all that. That's what I'm
Ooh.
saying because you still grow to being an adult. You can't be 40, 50, mid 30s or whatever. I mean, you know what I'm saying, to a degree, and just like, okay, I'm just going with the flow of life. If I don't get married, I don't get married. Or you know what I'm saying, like I'm married for a little bit for 2 years, but then if I go out, I see two, three other chicks over here that ain't married. Maybe I want to experience them. I'm like, y'all got to get y'all mentality right. The shit don't work to a degree when it comes to certain marriages. You know what I'm saying? Because in most cases, and it's true because it happened in relationships. In most cases, you feel what I'm saying? I feel like the man gonna step out before the woman gonna step out, period. Because if y'all really deep dive into certain shit when it comes to marriage or long-term relationships to a degree, a lot of women, females gonna stick it out and they're gonna do a lot of stuff, you know what I'm saying, like to the end of the road, period, before they ever, you know what I'm saying, just step completely out. So when I'm saying when it
Mhm.
comes to marriage, marriage gotta be an understanding that as men that y'all gonna lock in and be committed to that. Because another thing that y'all don't be paying attention to, y'all say y'all want to experience all these women and all that. I get it. That's one aspect of it. But you do understand that even when you're married or you're with somebody, you know what I'm saying, for years on end, it take a lifetime for you to really know somebody for real, for real. Y'all think y'all been together 10 years and that's enough? That's not, because that person gonna change. Y'all think, you know what I'm
Mhm.
saying, because you done traveled all around the world that that person ain't gonna change. That you are, because other things are gonna happen inside their life. Finances, you know what I'm saying, kids, parents, losing people, gaining friends, whatever. Like all the other aspects gonna happen that from your age now until you become, you know what I'm saying, of old age, you're gonna continue to build. Like you can be with the same person and be like that. Like my grandparents, you know what I'm saying, like that. I'm talking about years they've been married. My grandma in her 60s still been with the same person, you know what I'm saying, faithfully to this point, and still tell me the same thing too. You still learning each other. It's still stuff y'all don't agree on or whatever, but you got to be committed to, you know what I'm saying, the bigger picture. And I feel like the newer
It takes
generation,
work.
yeah, the newer generation scaling back from that because don't nobody want to do the work. Everybody want instant
Mhm.
gratification, but marriage is a good thing. You want to be with the same person, building stuff together, creating a foundation, going through life, experiencing certain stuff, and knowing that that person gonna be right there the whole time on the journey with you, and you slipping in and out the cracks with different people. Like y'all think it's cool to come back to the crib, you feel what I'm saying, or live by yourself and have different women running in the crib, you know what I'm saying, Monday through Sunday, whatever the case may be. That shit ain't satisfying. You feel what I'm saying? It's only physically satisfying, not the other
Mhm.
aspect of the mental, you know what I'm saying, and the emotional part. Because again, once y'all get that intimacy out the way, you ain't like, come on, for the most part, with most men, you ain't even think about the other factors of the shit, because at that point, you just want to kick it and do whatever. But when you were actually married and you building and you building a foundation, it is going, you know what I'm saying, that emotional level is going to be there, because now you bringing everything together. And a
Mhm.
lot of y'all, a lot of men, because I had this conversation with a lot of folks, a lot of men do want to be married, but at the same time, y'all don't understand that you got to pull away from your old life. The same way you 10 years
Mhm.
old and you grow to be 50 and you ain't gonna be the same person, is the same way when you married, you can't be the same person you was when you single. And it's perfectly fine to not do that, because y'all got to understand this too as men. Like I keep saying, you're not impressing your homeboy when you married, you know, or when you in a committed relationship, or when you get married, you focused on your wife. That's a lot of things too that y'all do. Y'all will step out, do certain stuff, not want to be married. Marriage ain't cool or whatever, because you worry about what your homeboy is doing over there, or you worried about, you know what I'm saying, what the single woman out here doing that desire to be in the same position that your wife is already in. Y'all only look at shit from one side of the spectrum. So it's just like, I get it in that aspect. Do I want to be married? Of course. Do I understand, like the Adreine point, that it's a lot of folks out here in the new generation that don't? They don't. But again, that's them. I'm me. So again, you got to be an individual when it comes to certain stuff. Everybody want to be married on both sides. Y'all just got to get y'all shit together.
I agree. I agree 1,000%. You could not have ended this episode with a better perspective, because at the end of the day, just like you said, every girl out there, they want to be a wife. I
Yeah,
mean, I don't care who, you know what I mean? Like, we're not interacting with men for the purpose of just fun. Like, we're built to have babies and families and all of this stuff. And I don't know how we lost sight of that path, and like how we get down that road, but we want that. Like, we want to be in committed relationships. So I appreciate that male perspective, and I think the reality is a lot of men probably want the same things that you want, but for whatever reason they experienced something or they saw something and they're scared, or for the longest, we haven't had generations and generations and generations of successful relationships
that's because they're
for
not mature
many
too as
reasons.
well, though. You got to be
Yeah.
mature.
Yeah. And you got to be ready.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
got to
yeah.
be committed. You got to be committed to the want or the ask of it. And as long as you both are committed to the want of that union and the want of that family, you commit yourself to the work, and you'll eventually get there. And I can't wait. I can't wait till I get there. I'm hopeful that it's coming. And I really, really appreciated you sharing that.
Definitely, that's what it's all about. You know what I'm saying? Just speaking our truth, because I feel like you can say anything on here, or we can, what I'm saying, keep it drama filled and explain why everybody want to be out here in the streets and do all that. But at the end of the day, somebody gotta be a representation of the right thing to do. And I feel like in each episode that we pretty much done had with y'all, to that degree, that's the aspect that we coming from. Because a lot of the stuff should be glorified, like marriage, actual committed relationship, actual, what I'm saying, real connection, actual real morals, other stuff too. We already, what I'm saying, y'all already get consumed in the bullshit that's already out in the world anyway. So it got to be people, what I'm saying, waking a lot of y'all up. A lot of y'all ain't woke out here. You know what I'm saying? Y'all follow the trend. Y'all follow what other people do. Oh, I don't need to be in a relationship because I got 20 other women out here in the streets or whatever that'll deal with me and all that, and fall into a cycle of other stuff. You got to have your own mentality, be mature. You feel what I'm saying? And focus on dating and doing certain things in the right space. If not, then y'all gonna continue to be lost out here. So all we trying to
Hmm.
do is, what I'm saying, guide y'all in the right direction.
Yeah, and hold each other accountable. Just like
Definitely.
how I hold Treble accountable and he hold me accountable. You can't want a certain life. You can't want to change if you're not putting the work in.
100%, y'all. You got to work. You got to put it in to get it. But we'll appreciate y'all tuning in, you know what I'm saying, for another week. Great support that's been going on, man. This is episode 5. We locked and loaded. We're going to keep coming with y'all. We got so much great content to come, so many, what I'm saying, diverse conversations, I feel like. And I really enjoy, what I'm saying, being in this space with y'all on a weekly basis to have these dynamic conversations. Everybody that's reaching out, giving good feedback, what I'm saying, giving their point of view, letting
Thank
people
you,
know that
thank
we
you,
that we
thank
representing
you.
them well. We appreciate all y'all, man. You know what I'm saying? And we shall be back. Y'all have an amazing weekend, week, the whole nine. Casual conversations across the nation, cool vibes
The People's Pod.
weekly.